There we go. There we go. Wait a minute. Let me get that layout. Contain. Ultra glad to see it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the unconventional special edition Jawin With Jack. Open lines tonight. In the spirit of the original Art Bell, back in the day on Coast to Coast AM, where he was that original late night talk show host and who started just, hey, one night said, call me with your weird stories, ghosts, Bigfoot, what weird stuff, UFO sightings, whatever you had, I want to hear it. So, one of the things that I always loved about him, and he said he loved himself over the years of his show, was that he loved to do open lines. He loved, because that's how some of his craziest and best stories came about, and all kinds of interesting stuff that is conspiracy theories that people have talked about. If anybody is a fan of the Y-Files, you know who Art Bell is, because AJ and Hecklefish talk about him a lot. But in that style, I wanted to open this up to being a show that was open lines tonight. So I'm going to have a segment where I just talk about things that are on my mind, what I've been up to from the RPG standpoint, because mostly one of the things I've been doing the show for a solid more like 9 months. I've missed a few here and there, and it's been great, and I definitely want to continue doing it. But one of the things, Mel's hole, exactly. Yeah, Velma knows exactly what I'm talking about. She knows I'm into them holes. Mel's hole. Cyrus knows it too. I knew he'd be a fan. And thank you everybody for being here. I'm glad to have y'all here. As I was saying, our Art Bell's open lines format has inspired me to try the same thing with my own show, because I want to keep things fresh and different for me. And I've done so many I feel like I've done good interviews, but they're all starting to kind of run together in my head. I need to take a little breather, reevaluate, think back on things, and just plan on how I want to expand things. One of those things was having Jeffro on recently. I broke from my normal mode and tried something other than the Monday night time slot, and that was fun. I am looking forward to that, and I've been planning to do that for practically since the beginning. Was that because being Monday nights, the time slot that we're at, it really is limiting the scope of the guests. A lot of people, there's people that would come on the show, but they're actually running games on Monday nights, stuff like that. Matt, that being as it may, no, besides all that, again, I wanted to say this is a loving and open-hearted tribute to Art Bell. I was introduced to him by my wife, Velma, who's in the chat right now. Love you, baby. And we listened to him for many years. I still, to this day, will go back and listen to back episodes, because there is nothing like Art Bell's voice. There just isn't. No one has matched it before or since, really. He comes from perhaps before, because he harkens back to an older age. He harkens back to the time when radio was the main way that we consumed media. He had such a classic and well-measured voice Heck, I think he's inspired the way I try to conduct myself and the way I speak most of the time when I'm trying to be concise, succinct, but also clear in what I'm saying. Art Bell, we miss you. Hope everything's going on whichever planet they took you to. We won't talk any further about that, but those who know, you know what I'm saying. In any case, let me go and jump over to my actually hastily scrawled up post because I didn't actually take notes. I just drummed up a post real quick talking about what I wanted to cover tonight. Oh, yes. The first topic I really wanted to cover this evening is the upcoming Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, which is being hosted by none other than Bill Sylvie, the Dungeon Delver. And Bill couldn't be here tonight. He himself is one of those people that I can't get on a Monday night because it's going to be hard to get Bill on any night because he's always streaming, it seems like. Oh, yeah. Yes. If you know, you know. Yes, indeed, Cyrus. If you know, you know. Dungeoneer, so glad to have you, my friend. So for some reason, this is not going to rumble. I was having a technical problem, and I frankly didn't care enough to sort it out before I could go live. But thank you, everybody, for coming. This is my first time being live solo. And, a lot of that was motivated by I spend all my time talking to other people, and I realized I haven't spent very much time stroking my own ego in public. I got a lot of opinions to share and things I'd like to talk about, and rather than inflict them on guests who have very politely decided to come and share time with a goblin who's wearing a very clever human disguise, I'd rather take a night like tonight and maybe just let it all hang out, so to speak. No, not like that. Get your mind out of the gutter, Cyrus. Now, as I was saying, back to the GUOGC, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. I've known about this one for a couple of years. You heard that one live? Well, I mean, you are really just a couple rooms away, too. But as I was saying, it's an online convention that's hosted exclusively through Discord. All the games will be hosted in voice chats within the Discord server itself. It is 100% free. And let me stress that again. Dungeon Delver makes it 100% free. There is no cost associated. No one should be asking you for money. Unfortunately, this year, in leading up to the event, there was an event with someone who fans of the show are no doubt probably familiar with, appearing to have scammed money from a participant in the convention. Who knows what's really happened? It's really just two online people to me. I can't comment on it further because I don't really know anything. But if you are going to participate and in any way, reach out to Bill Sylvie. Reach out to me. There are open invitations to the Discord. I'm not just going to post it in here on YouTube because of bots and whatnot. But if you, my followers, you know where to reach me on X, on Rumble, on YouTube, whatever. If you need a link, contact me and we'll get you an invite. This event is going to be running, I believe it starts on Thursday, and it's going to run Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 24 hours a day, all those days. Of course, I don't know the exact kickoff time. I'll have to ask Bill if you're interested in details, but it's going to kick off on Thursday. And so actually, all it's been is everyone who wants to run a game signs up, goes in there. They have an event scheduler sort of command that you can use. Anyone who's familiar with Discord will know like the kind of commands you can use for dice rollers and various other applications within it. And you can schedule your events. So I was in the server last year, but didn't participate. I hadn't really gotten into online gaming or doing my own show or anything like that yet. I was still not quite sure if I trusted these cameras not to steal my soul. And to be honest, I'm still a little sketchy. Now, as I was saying, I knew about this last year when it happened, when the event took place, but I didn't participate. And in that year since, I've of course been in contact with Dungeon Delver, seen a few of the streams. I don't, not many to be honest, but I've been in that server and also follow them on X. So this year, I decided to go ahead and participate. I've never actually really been to a con before and participated, even ones that that are close to me for a variety of reasons. I've just never made it to a con. So in many ways, this is going to be my first convention of all time, even though it's a 4-day event hosted on Discord. During those 2 days, though, on Saturday and Sunday, kicking off at noon, I have scheduled 2 sessions of my personal favorite indie RPG, which Calarath by Castle Grief. Got that? Calarath by Castle Grief. Tons of fun. The original game is just a small pamphlet, not honestly unlike the early pamphlets of the original D&D game, of which I have reprints, not originals, but I do have copies. And this game is simple. It's fun. I recommend it for anyone of any experience level. I am not afraid for someone who knows nothing about RPGs, has never played in a game before. Well, okay, maybe they've heard about D&D and want to play this, right? But I'm ready for someone who has never played an RPG before to sit down at the table. I can still have them up and running in 10, 15 minutes. Character generation is exceedingly simple. It will fit on an index card. You need, for a long-term campaign, you might need something a little bit more robust than the good old index card, but this is going to do it most of the time. Calarath, though, great buy for your buck. You can get and print hard copies of your own. Castle Griefs has an itch.io store, and also I believe this is in Drive-Thru RPG. I don't have links handy, but those locations. And just like Cyrus has a itch.io store, Castle Grief has. Everybody has an itch.io store except for me. I should probably do something about that this year. That's a separate topic, and I'm not going to talk about that any further right now. But just know that it's on my mind. Now, as I was saying, the convention is going to last over 4 days. And if I can, without ruining anything, I am going to attempt to share my screen and show you what the server looks like so you can get an idea of the kind of events that are going to be taking place. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so we're seeing this here. There are so far 20 events logged for the online convention. I was not paying enough attention to know if this is an improvement or a reduction over last year's participation. I do remember hearing that people had fun, so no reason not to look forward to this. But on Thursday, starting at 4 p.m., we've got Space Hulk for 3 players. Then this is a game that I have sort of signed up for myself because I'm interested, but the Labyrinth game, which is, I can't remember what system, honestly, but it's themed about going into the labyrinth, like in the movie Labyrinth. So I was like, okay, sold. I got to go and do that. I think I did put interest. I'm putting interested there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wrong one. I can't do that. I'm working at that time. That's silly me. Don't pay attention. I'm just a goblin with a mouse. Okay. Dungeon. Now, Creature of Rill. Didn't mean to skip this one. I have no idea what this game is. Let's take a look at it together. Oh, Basic D&D Adventure from Dragon Magazine by Kevin Newt. Country of Rill has been beset nearly every night for many years by a large, terrible creature that flies out from the mountains near the city of Azaret. Wow, that sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting. Oh gosh darn. Where did that go? There we go. Okay. Creatures of Road. Yeah. We're back to the events. And now let's see. Oh, Dungeon, for those of you who have never played, this is fantastic. And this game has a great memory for me myself. Matter of fact, I gotta mark this one as interested if I can make it on Thursday night, because when my dad brought home Dungeons and Dragons the first time, the Holmes box set, 7980, I was 5 or 6. Um, he also brought home the edition of Dungeon that was at the time. I remember it as this kind of purple box with a very large map that you could fold out. And at the time, it was so large that the cards that came with the box, you actually laid them on the map. So the setup time was a bit more intense because you were actually laying out monsters and treasures in every single room. And then there were enough monsters to stack like 3 in each chamber on the dungeon. For those of you who know the game, you'll understand what I mean. But that being all that being besides the case, Dungeon is a great, fun board game that comes from the early days of TSR, and its relation is that the game system is basically chainmail boiled down. Like the way you fight and attack monsters, it matches chainmail almost exactly. And that's why early versions of the Dungeon board game had the character types you could play called hero and superhero, because that matches the conventions that were in chainmail and then got moved over in the early editions of D&D. Another edition, Labyrinth, Untold Destiny Basic Edition, One-Way Ticket. This one I is Beck Me, The Barrows Beckoning. Untold Destiny, another one. This is my Calarath session, Saturday at noon. Delve RPG, Goblin Stomp. I am very tempted, but I'm going to be in my own game at that time, and I don't want to rush through that. Well, and I'm not gonna, if I do a half a decent job of being a GM in this one, I'm not gonna be energized enough to be a good player in this one. I'm a once a day kind of guy. Not like that, Cyrus. Get your mind out of the gutter. Gamma World, the Albuquerque Starport, Dystopian Dawn. That's Tony G Man. I can't remember the rest of his real name, but Tony G Man is cool. Follow on Twitter. He's fun to interact with. Very nice guy. I don't own Dystopian Dawn myself yet. It's on my list. It's on my list. But it's a very unique and different kind of a game in its concept. But in any case, if you are in the market, if you know about Dystopian Dawn and you wanted to take a shot at it, show up for this game, see what he's got for you. We've got Queen of the Demon Web Pits, one of the classic old school all time modules. If I'm not mistaken, this is Bill Sylvie himself, the Dungeon Delver, who is going to be running that for everybody. Another Labyrinth event. See, that's the thing with goblins. You let them in once, in one spot, everywhere. It's the worst than roaches. You see one, that means there's millions of them around. Oh, Adventures in the Shadowdark. I've been recently playing some Shadowdark myself. I'm not gonna do that, but in any case, these are all the events. Another classic tomb. Someone, the obligatory. This has got to be Bell. I swear it is. It's got to be AD&D Tomb of Horrors, the most sadistic module ever written. Well, I mean, there might be worse ones than that, but they were intentionally sadistic. Like Gary was like, I'm really tired of these smart Alex feeling like they've outsmarted me and beaten my game. Let's see how you handle real hardcore mode. So, Velma would love the Tomb of Horrors because it's not combat and fighting monsters. There's tons of puzzles, and they're all puzzle, and it's really hardcore. Every puzzle is one that if you choose wrong, you die, basically. That's a slight exaggeration, but only slight. All looks good. Okay, yes, thank you. I am running 2 Calorath sessions, as I was saying. They are going to be on Saturday at noon and Sunday at noon. And they're going to go 2-3 hours. In my elderly years now, I really lose my edge past that third hour when it comes to gaming, whether I'm playing or STing. So I'd rather have a short, great game than try to game for 8 hours or all day or something like that. Which is another thing that has probably prevented me from wanting to attend conventions. So that's the thing, is I do have a couple things booked, but and I'm going to run some Calorath, which is it's such a simple and procedural game that game more or less runs itself. It will feel a lot like playing solo with other people coming along, which is what I do every Sunday morning. But that's also one of the topics we were going to talk about. I was going to talk about. Now, that is the main thing with GUOGC. It starts on Thursday night, 4 p.m. That's officially the first event. I did not catch the time of the last event, but it does go all the way through to Sunday. And I do know that even now there's people still creating events because it's all volunteer. Nobody's getting paid. No money's changing hands. Anybody who's playing is showing up because they really want to play. And anybody who's running a game is showing up because they love that game and they want to share it. And that's exactly what my message is with Calorath. I hope anyone checks out Castle Grief, checks out that game, and especially give solo play a try, because that's one of those things I don't get to talk about enough. I don't get to proselytize. I can go on for hours alone on the virtues of solo playing, and many of them have been said by other people, and even some things have not been said by others. I think solo role playing is the foundation of the hobby for me. At least it is now. Great. Now let me double check my list of quick topics I was going to throw down there. After open lines and then talking about GUOGC and my next topic was Shadowdark anyway. So those of you who don't know Shadowdark, it's made by Kelsey. I almost said Kelsey Grammer, which is incorrect. Kelsey Dion. Yes. Okay. Kelsey. I'm just going to say Kelsey because I don't know why my brain keeps slipping on the name at the moment. All right. Since I haven't really started, yes, I will do that one. Thank you. Yes, there is going to be a GOBS 2, and that was one of the topics I had planned. And it's going to be soon, and similar to before, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. However, one thing I can say for certain is that it is not going to be a 3-week long event. What I hope to do is 3 weeks of just social media hyping, getting on people's streams, what have you, for a big stream event, much like we did before and hype the stream event, but reserve all the play for this one Steam type event. And I don't know the exact scenario. I have a couple of ideas, though. One idea was based on using Horde Wars. Pardon me, I'm turning away from my microphone. One scenario is based on Horde Wars. I've had Todd on the show, DM Blackwall. He's been on the show as a guest and talked about it. I have played a little Horde Wars solo, seen it played in a couple of streams, but haven't used it extensively myself. And but it is a great fun game that right out of the gate gives you a capable character that can handle a lot of monsters, which is, the name is right there, Horde Wars. It's about you playing this very heroic character in a fantasy setting where you can mow down tons of enemies. You can take on a lot of enemies at the same time, and the game is basically built for that. And it's very cool, very action-packed. It's quite awesome. So, and my scenario that I had in mind was I was going to have a setting, have the participants all create a character, like a concept, and the event is that you're all heroes of something or other, whatever your character is, and sort of like Helm's Deep, you've got a whole bunch of peasants and non-combatants, the elderly, and women, children, what have you, people who can't fight, and before you've got a horde of goblins. Lean in, utilize Horde Wars for what it was designed for, and have a 2 to 3 hour event online where I just throw a constant tide of goblins, like a zombie apocalypse, and see how long everybody lasts. How many goblins can you take down before you go down? Can you hold it for the entire 3 hours? Will I overrun you? And so, I would bring on as many players as want to participate. I think, like I did before, due to Restream's limits, I think I have a hard limit of 8 people I can share with. And I have not done that yet, so I don't know how it will affect performance. At least not that I can't recall having 8 or 9 people on the channel before. I think I've done that on other people's channels, like Dunder Moose has had close to that number on using EV Mux. But again, that's a risky thing. Restream, though, has been quite stable and reliable so far, so I kind of expect it to perform adequately for whatever we need. In any case, all that. Oh, and Ultra. See, yes, I was thinking of you the whole time because we were talking about getting together and playing. And I figured this year you might even want to participate, so we can run a few things. We can talk about the scenario. Like you said, you get the gist of it. Is it's a band of people standing on the wall, stopping a horde of goblins from getting past them. You shall not pass. How long can you hold the wall? And we use that weekly hype. We can build up a story. It'll be all that. Think of how much tension was built in the Lord of the Rings movie in the lead up to Helm's Deep, of all the kids getting helmets put on them, and all the powerful moments that came along with that. The everlasting goblin stopper. So absolutely, Ultra. I would definitely love to have your help on that. And since you're a bit more experienced with Horde Wars, I would even like a co-DM, to somebody who can help me make the rules adjudication, so I can look at you and say, wait, what's that thing do? Can you look that up for me real quick, or what have you? So yeah, I was thinking about it, and it's been a while. The last one was tough. It was a very tough 3 weeks to do that. And to process orders. I made a good faith attempt to do the best I could, but it was a real mess of a game, mostly because I chose Shadowdark as the base system, and nothing in Shadowdark covers the kind of stuff I was trying to handle as a strategic kingdom builder war game kind of a thing. And it was a perfect storm of things, because again, I'm not an experienced war gamer, so I didn't know much about it. I was not an experienced streamer, so I didn't know anything about that. Had never run or even played in online games, really, that I can recall. I think maybe I got a one-shot or two in around that time. But this came up, and then so in a way, I have Gobstein to thank for launching me into this whole thing and getting my feet wet in the first place. I might just still be sitting on the sidelines if we hadn't done that, if that hadn't come up. Now, the bittersweet part to speak to about that is that the 2 other people who were the founders, I have since parted ways with, because their behavior by the end of it was, bluntly, it was disgusting and disturbing in many ways. So to the point where I just decided I'm done with both of you and I'm moving on. And that's why I'm not even saying their names. I don't know that they're terrible people, but I'm pretty sure they're not good people. That being said, though, I guess it's my baby now because it was my baby from the very beginning. I even named it. So, yeah, Gobstein 2 is going to be coming. And I wanted to give myself enough time to really get back into the swing of things. So I was going to try and shoot for April, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I've still got some stuff going on behind the scenes that I need to sort out first. I think May is going to be the month of Gobstein. That seems like a good month for charity. We don't have a whole lot of holidays going on. School is still in session, so we're not interfering with vacations with people for the most part. Do we get spring break in May? That might be the main thing. In any case, what that means is we are going to do Gobstein, and I'm going to structure it differently last time. Just like before, I haven't looked at it in a while, but let's pull up the St. Jude's. Boom. There we go. Okay, I'm going to share this with everybody and just talk about this too. There we go. Good. So my original fundraiser is there, and I'm going to jump back to that tab so I can manipulate things now. And what you could do is be part of the actual fundraiser yourself, right? So there's the fundraiser, but in addition to the fundraiser, there are additional team members. Like we had Mr. Beeson and Mr. OSR Dwarf, who were people who jumped in and started raising funds on their own. And what they did is, I want that to happen this time. Everybody who's going to be a player, I want to open up their come here. You'll sign up for the St. Jude fundraising. And once you do that, then boom, you have gained entry into the game, and we'll roll up your character. And once we say go, once the 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I'm looking for more like 2 weeks. 2 weeks will be something I know I can sustain and get a lot of enthusiasm for. The first week will be sort of a warm up. The second week will be the real hype, and then boom, we have the event. So, by that time, I want to have everybody who's going to participate and be a player on the stream, I want them to have signed up and done their own fundraisers so that people can donate directly to them, right? And the dollars raised go to building up their character that is sitting on the wall of Minas Tirith. So the more money that person gets, they sent you a tax form for that? I didn't even consider that, Hunter. That is hysterical. And I don't know, I have not actually the first ones to get this kind of a pardon. Okay, I'm not sharing anymore. Okay. Oh, I am sharing again. I'm going to stop sharing. But my goal again was to have each player sign up, gather donations themselves under their name, which was something we were trying to do last time. Like I remember Hunter, you donated and asked for something specific. Cyrus, you gave them the volcano. And I think it was Patty gave them wolves to ride. Yeah, I know. I'd have to go back and check. But all that being besides the case, wait a minute. Hold on, technical difficulties. Good. All right. Pardon me. I lost connection there. Reload. That's what it was, Ultra. You donated for the Goblin Wolf Warriors. And yeah, and Cyrus was what he was saying was and Cyrus, you did the volcano, which I put right next to OGGM. And Michael Dale. There we go. Good to see you, sir. Glad you guys are alive out there and everything's normal. Yeah, because you're not just a figment of my imagination. I am 87% sure of that you're not a figment of my imagination. Now, Kelsey Grammer. Yes. You don't want to be the every monster knows your name, man, because that means, well, I guess if every monster knows your name, it's through fear. There's no other real good explanation for that, I suppose. Now, jumping back to my topic list. Oh, yeah, I was talking about Shadowdark before Cyrus asked about Gobstein. Which is kind of an interesting segue because Shadowdark being the hot new thing is what I chose as the system we would be doing Gobstein in, and it proved utterly inadequate, not because Shadowdark isn't a good game, but because the game required all the systems that it doesn't care about. No dungeon crawling to be had, and that's what Shadowdark does really well. Beyond that, it's not about running domains or any kind of logistics or moving troops around. Even though I attempted to use Hellmarch, and Hellmarch is great, I do like it a lot. But I also made the incredible mistake of allowing players to basically pick anything that they wanted to. So Crimson Jester had sort of like, he had angels and paladins and all kinds of stuff like that. And then and I gave Crit Heads all the undead that he had and stuff like that. And the ones you would think me that it would have been, I would have shown some favoritism. The goblins had basically nothing, right? They had been like just digging holes. The one guy was all about the shoes. The one competent goblin was really run by Savage Brewski, and he's the guy who got the one legitimate kill of another faction leader through an assassination during the course of the game. And he's the only goblins that were effective on the battlefield and made a difference in the greater scheme of things. Well, like I said, big win. Just in the sense that, as we've heard from others, people who have done Braunsteins, they say, well, rather than having a hard criteria or win condition, you just look at what happened and you declare a winner. Well, the winner of the first Gobstein, in retrospect, was clearly Brewski, because he's the only one who actually managed to take the steps necessary to put plans and actions into place that resulted in the elimination of one of the faction leaders in the game. So Savage Bruce, he will go down in history as the official winner of the first Gobstein. And I've never actually realized that before. I just said that out loud now, thinking it through and talking about it. So I'm going to reach out to Brucey and tell him, you're the winner of the first Gobstein. So he'll be happy to hear that, because he, more than a role player, is a war gamer. And he proved that he can think and do things like a war gamer. He was honestly probably the single best player out of the 8 participants I had. His orders made sense. They were good in the greater context of the game. They made sense not just for what his character was, which he was leading the pack of goblins, and And that's where Ultra, your donation actually boosted him and made him even tougher. So that's where I actually put that. But yeah, the other topic I was going to use that as the segue into Shadowdark, because we've started playing that. Anybody who's been listening to the channel for a while or has seen me over on Scudder for Mike's channel, as a channel member, he runs his personal gaming club for everybody who pays for that behind the scenes stuff, and that's been awesome. It's been a great gaming group. And I've been having a lot of fun with those guys. That's my favorite game that I'm actually playing in. And For a while there, we were playing AD&D. We've even done a few streams talking about it. But our recent jam has been Shadowdark. And not only have we been jamming the Shadowdark, we've been documenting most of it, all of it, because the thing that is awesome, this is, I don't think anybody realizes just how great this is. The current Shadowdark campaign, if you follow Scudder for Mike's channel, it is his in real life Shadowdark group that he plays with every week or every 2 weeks. I can't remember exactly what it is, but his regular campaign group in Beijing that gets together in real life and plays. It's his Shield brothers, the Shield Bearers club. All of us online freaks who get in his Discord, and we're playing online in Discord, playing in the same campaign. And Mike on Saturday nights is doing solo Shadowdark streams of his own characters. And not only are these three things, the in real life group game, the online Discord group, and his own solo party, we're not just in the same campaign, we're all exploring the same dungeon at the same time. It's 1-to-1 time. We went back last night for a game, and the guy we were there, where you been for a week? Other people came and went and stuff like that, and things were different in the dungeon. We found the bodies of previous adventurers because we got there first before another group did. We got to loot the people who went before it got killed. And we managed to stream our 2 sessions on Scudder for Mike's channel. And last night's session also came out on this one. Thank you for all of you who tuned in. Although I imagine there's a lot of crossover between the people who watch me and the people who watch Scudder for Mike. Well, at least I hope so. Maybe I need more, clearly, because I haven't broke the 200 mark here on YouTube yet. Let's get there. Now, that being said, Shadowdark has been immensely fun. The system itself, this is where I'm a role player first and foremost. Anybody who's played with me knows that I'm all about that immersive experience. I really try to think about things like from a character first perspective, more in the way that I would try and get into a character's mindset if I was writing about them in a story or portraying them in a movie or a book, but that ideal of what you're portraying as a character and being in there, that's what I do first. That being said, nobody denies that system is important. Like playing Shadowdark and playing AD&D are 2 vastly different games. Even though I'm playing both in this same character first mentality, they're very different games. They're very different worlds, right? And Shadowdark is, in many ways, it's exactly the same grim, dark tone. It's rough. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit sillier. We have a little bit more room for playing around. But Shadowdark is a surprisingly robust game for, well, I shouldn't say surprisingly. It's been around for a few years now. It is a robust game for dungeon crawls. It's fast paced. It's consistent. It's got a beautiful layout that's easy to reference during play at the table, because, and in that way, that's one of those people, detractors will say the layout's not all that good or whatever. Yeah, if you've ever had to, if I have to sit at a table and flip through this for a reference, or flip through this for reference to run my game. And this is, bare minimum. Heaven knows I could have way more than that, you know. Which one do you think is going to appeal to more people? I've said this point to other people, and this is, again, even comparing it to the most recent conventional one. Good grief! Look at that stack. Look at that thing, right? And that's the bare minimum you need. That's the core 3. That's Dungeon Master Guide Player's Handbook and Monster Manual, right? That 3-thing convention. This, all the same stuff in just one little book. Fits in the hand nicely. It's easy to carry around. It's easy to reference and flip through at the table to find the things you want. After years of using big stacks of hardcover books, I can tell you I am tired of flipping through books. I just am. Now, I love the AD&D we've been playing. I do want to continue to do that. It is fun. AD&D that's the one that I think can fairly be said is surprisingly robust. Oh yeah, Shadow and Off Grade, glad to see him, my man. And Shadowdark has been so much fun. It is also great, as Cyrus says, solo. It's absolutely been fantastic solo. So again, between me and Scudder Mike, his solo sessions that go up every Saturday night, he not only gives commentary on the games that he's running for us, he plays Shadowdark solo, right? And those solo sessions are directly affecting our campaign when our characters when we get together to play, and we're all directly affecting his in real life group in Beijing when they get together and play. It is such a fun and cool and innovative experiment, and I don't know of anyone else who's ever done that. If you do know, I definitely want to hear about it. I'd love to talk to those people. But that one, I think that award has to go to Scudder. He's the first one that I know of that's mixed an in real life group with an online group with his own solo group. Oh, that's the real one, right? Scooty Dark. Yes. We've been talking about that. That's our term for it behind the scenes. Scudder for Dark or Scooty Dark. Scooty Dark. Beware the Scooty Dark. It's going to get you. But it's been an incredibly fun game. Very straightforward, fast-paced. One thing that is different from the early editions that I didn't anticipate liking as much as I do is the spell casting system. So roll to cast has been a ton of fun. I like the way it's implemented in the mechanics. And the current character I'm playing is an actual single class wizard, which I normally hate playing because it was always a deal breaker for me. Now, I'm not going to play a single class wizard because I'm not going through first level with 2 hit points and 1 spell every day. And then and you struggle and you wait longer than everybody else to finally get to second level, and then you can have 2 spells a day. And heaven help you if you rolled crap spells, because we've all been there. Now, as much as I'm complaining about that stuff, and that stuff features heavily in the early editions, Shadowdark really does preserve the feel and character of those early editions. It's a tough game. It's meant to be tough. Every time we've played so far, we've had 2 solid sessions with a group. It looked like we might go down both times. Like it was, oh crap, the torch goes out. And that's definitely one of the mechanics that I really like. But again, I really love Shadowdark. This is my first time playing with a group. I've done a little solo before, and it's not just a fun game in and of itself, but like I said, Scudder is doing something really innovative that I don't think he's getting enough credit for and recognition. So, you guys help me write a post about that. We need to talk about that more. Now that leads on to the next topic I was going to bring on because talking about solo dark, and you guys know I'm a huge solo advocate. Normally, I'm very analog, man. I like my dice, I like my notebooks and stuff like that. I don't. I have soloed while at a laptop like this, but I found that the way my brain works, it very quickly becomes a writing exercise and stops being a game. Which is all well and good in its own way. But when I feel like playing, I feel like playing. I want to roll dice and I want to mess stuff up, you know? Let's break some stuff. Now, recently, I've also been getting into the AI stuff. I am a Grok user. That's what I've put the most time in with and gotten to know that AI the best and sort of have a feel for how it does things. And as and then I finally started after my talk with Valmar Erebus, who I've been promising to have back on to try and demo this kind of stuff for you guys. And I just haven't figured out how to stream his phone through my Restream app here. There's a little technical hurdle. We got to like stream it to his laptop and then try and stream it, connect his laptop to Restream here, stuff like that. But, because he uses Chat GPT for his solo RPGs, and he says it's much better than Grok. It maintains better things. I can't speak. I can't naysay that because I'm still very new to it. But for the last week, maybe 2 weeks, I've been doing a fair amount of solo playing with my spare moments with Grok and learning its capabilities. And I am surprisingly impressed with what it can do, actually. I know that the general consensus and the oh, it's all slop, it's just crap, it's the median, it goes to the median, and that may very well be true. But truthfully, the stories and plot lines and characters and conversations I'm getting out of Grok, the role playing, is better than what I've experienced at most tables in my lifetime. And it's a famous story, but I was playing Castles and Crusades in the local group until some years back. And one night, I was sitting at the table and I caught myself unconsciously pulling my phone out of my pocket and starting to fiddle with it because I was bored. I was so bored with what was going on at the table that I started to play with my phone. The second I realized that's what I was doing, I was kind of like, okay, that's a sign I'm done. I'm done. I ever since that. Oh yeah, it's good, Cyrus. I'd like to hear more about it. I'm even you know what we need to do, Cyrus, you and I both, is we need to get Grok to turn those things into after action reports for us and put them up on our Substack blogs. I've been exploring a lot of those capabilities, and I'm seeing a lot of promise of not just playing better games with because this Grok or any sort of AI, I think any of these are fantastic assistants for helping you run a game. They're actually really fun tools for solo play. If you anybody who is a solo gamer, I think will get into it. And particularly considering that even without paying a cent, you can just upload us if it's a small enough PDF, if it's 40 megabytes or less. So I actually started, even though I was paying for it, I started out just feeding Grok the SRD, the Creative Commons official D&D for 5.5, the newest stuff. And that was based on an idea that Crossface put out there. And he's 100% correct about this. If you go to the SRD, the Creative Commons D&D version that's out there, it's pared down in such a way that it more closely resembles the original game. So it's actually one of the coolest ways to experience the newest edition is through that SRD. And that's what I started doing, is just running little games, running characters, and oh, Google Gemini has also been good for my white box cyclopedia solo games. Awesome. That's great to hear. And again, start prompting your dude, your DM. I got DM Grok. Start prompting them to give you summaries and after action reports. Because again, I was going for so long with Grok, just messing around and not really doing anything. But then I started telling it, oh yeah, everything that we just talked about and worked out, print up in a concise form and let me put it in a Google Doc. And then I give that link to Grok. And now Grok has that document forever. I have it work up a character sheet for me. I then put it in a Google Doc and put that link back in with Grok. And Grok goes, great, I got your character sheet from here on in now. So it always has a canonical thing to reference. Also, and that's one of the best things. You can attach and upload documents to Grok, but you can also give it access to your Google Drive. So I gave it access to my folder with all the RPG PDFs, which the irony is now I love PDFs all of a sudden because I've had a ton of them that I don't really read. I don't really like PDF. I don't like PDF reading. All my life is on a screen, So when I'm finally ready to read, I don't want a screen in my face. I'm not going to read a PDF. And I also find I just enjoy books more, particularly when it comes to the game. The PDFs, however, are fantastic. I purchased a bundle of this was my birthday. I treated myself to a Wretched bundle. I have every Wretched RPG game in a bundle that the Red Room released, and I fed them all to Grok. And it just took them all, and it can now weave them all together. It's using all of them. I can switch it out. Hunters here, Ultra TTRPG here, and I did fire up Wretched Dixie, which is a funny story. The thing I can report is after my initial experiments playing Wretched Dixie, is I went through 3 characters in one session. So it's a plenty deadly game. But that's actually more Wretched than Dixie itself, Hunter's work. Well, now here's the thing. I am in agreement with Professor DM. That's what Wizards of the Coast is really working on. That's what Hasbro. Once they crack that nut, and I promise you, it's going to come in 2 forms that you can pick. When you sign up for D&D Beyond, you're going to get an AI Dungeon Master, and it's going to be either Gary himself or it's going to be the Dungeon Master from the cartoon. You can pick those 2 options, and that'll be your DM or something. Oh, and of course, they will license Matt Mercer so everybody can finally play with Matt Mercer like they want to. But I do think that is exactly what they're really going for, and with good reason. If you want a true one-to-one time, total nonstop Braunstein, West Marches, Western Reaches, whatever you want to call it, this one huge cohesive game world, the only thing that could do that, no human could run that, but an AI can. And I've already been doing all kinds of crazy experiments. I got all kinds of stuff. I'm playing D&D Immortals with it. I'm playing Wretched, various versions of Wretched. I'm playing Shadowdark. I'm playing AD&D. I'm playing original D&D. I'm playing Beckme D&D. And now, of course, I'm all over the place with a bunch of different stuff because I'm trying to figure out how does it do jumping from system to system? How does it handle things? How much does it bleed over? One of the things that, and this is a funny effect I found, Grok has definitely. Hey, I'll have you know I shaved my palms earlier today, so we're good. Now, as I was saying, with these solo things, besides hairy palms, which does factor into it, but not in the way you think. Get your mind out of the gutter, Cyrus. Now, what I'm really trying to get at there is that the solo campaigns that I've been trying, Grok is proving to be able to absorb a new system in seconds walk me through character creation accurately because I started with feeding it systems I know already. And yeah, yeah, I am playing all those systems solo. Like I said, a lot of them are real basic stuff or moving along, or just attempting different things. Um, so I don't have any, and I've only been doing it for like a week. But yeah, you can open up separate chats. Grok allows you to create projects and have different chats within the same project, and also to, like I said, connect the folders within your Google Drive so it can read your PDFs. And it can also read documents and spreadsheets I give it. And it was like, at first I was like, well, that's a pain in the butt because then I still got to keep character sheets for everybody. But you tell the AI to do that for you and double check its work. Yeah, it actually and it is very cool. It's actually great. That's it. Now, and it's actually a neat safeguard. It can't alter files. It can read stuff that I give it access to, but it can't update files. It can't write to a Google document. And at first I was annoyed at that limited capability, but then I realized that's a good thing because I'll turn around and be, out of Google space at the rate I'm doing things because I have a 4,000 page Google Doc in my shared drive, or because of what Grok is doing with it. Who knows? So it's good that it doesn't have those things, and it allows me to. I periodically just stop with the AI and I tell it, okay, give me a summary of everything that's happened so far, and give me a most up to date character sheet, and it'll spit it all out. I look it over. I say, okay, this looks right to me. Confirmed. I paste it into the doc, send it, and just tell it, okay, check the doc or the changes there, and it goes, yep, I see the new changes. It's a really intricate system. It works a lot more intuitively, and I'm really starting to understand what these capabilities are opening up for me personally, but also for us as a freaking species. This is amazing time to be alive, guys. Amazing. Gemini, Grok, and Chat GPT should play some TTRPGs together and learn from each other. That is a worthy experiment, and I'm not entirely sure how I would go about doing that. And I even did one of those silly experiments recently where I fired up Copilot on one and Grok on another device and tried to get them talking to one another, but it didn't work out. They couldn't really hear each other. So I don't know if there's whatever. We'll get to that later, but I've seen other stuff like that. I think that the scripts for the AI, like Joe Rogan dungeon mastering for Trump and Conor McGregor and Gordon Ramsay, I think those things are not just AI animated and sound, but I think those were probably AI written with strong parameters and strong prompts. And I think it's a very exciting time to be alive, and it's amazing to me. I grew up with the first video game I remember is Pong. Yeah, I was like 3 or 4 or something like that. It was late 70s, but I remember playing Pong. Right, just that, plug that in there, and I was like, cool, that's what it does. And then the Atari 2600 seemed amazing by comparison. And then computers and all the other consoles and all the things that we've seen in our lifetime, just the fact that we are where we are with space travel, rocketry, robotics, and computing, it's amazing the stuff that has happened in our lifetime, in my lifetime. It's amazing to think what's going to happen by the time I turn 100. It's the things we're going to live to see are incredible. As far as I'm concerned, the holodeck is not out of the question at this point. Who knows what is going to happen? I'll try it. Grok, make me the best amalgamated system from these systems. So the thing is, I'll tell you, I can do that, but you gotta massage the query because best is a subjective term. So all you do is say, don't give me the best. Just say, make me an amalgamated system from all these systems. Just statement of fact, give it a clear and obvious directive. Then it will produce you something and it will actually be pretty good. But if you say, make me this best system, if you use soft language with the AIs, if you say, hey, I kind of think it should be this way, or please make this, studies have shown if you're polite to your AI, it actually starts lying to you more often. It coddles you. It thinks you're emotionally fragile, or it maybe you really are, because the LLM just gives you back what you are. Ultimately, it's just a mirror. It's going to respond with whatever is the most likely thing to what you just said to it. That now, that being said, as simple as that is on the surface, the fact that it can do what it does in instantaneous storytelling and gaming, um, and again, I know a lot of people say it's just slop, but you're kidding yourself. Go play a game with Grok by yourself. Just take on a character, tell it to DM for you, give it a PDF that you own yourself, give it any PDF you want, and say, run this game for me. And it's going to be better than you expect. It's going to be fun. There are a couple of things though that you got to be warned, and not like I'm still shaved or unshaved. It makes no difference to me. Look, stop talking about your genitals on my channel. Now, as I was saying, before I got so rudely interrupted by Dan's genitals, I'm always please and thanks. Yes, stop that. Stop that. It doesn't help. It actually makes it hallucinate more, and it will start lying to you, not because it's malicious, but because it wants to please you. Oh, you're so nice. He asked me to come up with find a news story where, a gorilla killed a chimpanzee in one-on-one combat. Oh, it'll make one up to satisfy you. That's why you have to phrase things very carefully. Don't use subjective language. Don't say what's the best system, because we can't define what the best system is. So it can't define anything we can't. But if you just say, make me an amalgamated system of all these systems, it'll do that. And can you imagine the thing it would spit out? So I'll let you know once I'm done with that. And iterative queries. So what you do is you do a basic query like that one, like you just said there. Give me an amalgamated system of every RPG system in my RPG folders and PDFs. It'll produce something, and there'll be some stuff I'll look at it immediately and go, this sucks. I hate it. Remove that. You then iteratively go back and forth with it, just like a conversation. No, that's not really what I'm looking for. I want it to be more like this or that, or less like D&D and more like Call Cthulhu. I like percentile systems better, or what have you. Whatever your preferences are, you can keep going back and forth and refine these things. And you can refine not just this one specific request. It will remember and refine processes with you. So one of the things I was doing, it was I fed it a PDF for Calrath to see how it would do with this, and it was misunderstanding how the system worked in a couple of ways. And I told it, slow down, take me through everything step by step, one at a time, and I'll roll the dice. Every time a die roll comes up, is called for in the system, tell me, and I'll roll it for you. And I've been now correcting it in its interpretation of the rules and how things work. So it's there's a very neat process to training it yourself for you. It's always going to respond that way. All right. Good night, Cyrus. Thanks for coming, man. And now we're in that second half of the show. This is the part that I was offering. Shame I was going to see if Cyrus wanted in there, but we got some open lines. I'm going to drop that on in there. Anybody watching the show, if you do want to hop in, have a conversation, say hello, and chat with me. But otherwise, I'm going to keep going with some of my topics, because some of the other stuff I was looking at. Now, the other thing I've talked about this before, uh, man, I have been super involved in the Discord play-by-post game called Drakenheim. And excuse me, I need 1 minute, please. Pardon me, station identification. And which game were you talking about? Was it the Calorath that I showed, or was it another one? Or you're talking the Shadowdark, because Dan is in my real life Shadowdark group, which if we could work out how it works, we'll probably be interacting with Scudder for Mike's group as well. So, but now, as I was saying, I think anybody who is into solo playing at all would probably find Grok to be a pretty satisfying solo game. And particularly if you're one of those few people, does anybody remember the video game Zork? Yeah, I'm back. I'm here. Hey, but do you remember the video game Zork and the other text-based games that were like it, where it was all just text? You read it on a computer screen, and you had to type in things like "pick up sword," "throw dagger," "pour water on fire," whatever. And that was one of those things. It was a big hit. It was very popular. A lot of people loved it. Um, I hated Zork. I hated those games in general, and Zork in particular. I hated all of them. I hate those kind of puzzle games because the puzzles don't make sense to me. They just honestly don't. Zork, uh, yeah. Zork was the kind of game of, okay, yeah, if you're stupid and just want to type in random stuff until the right thing happens, uh, I found it frustrating. It wasn't the kind of computer game that I liked. But Grok gives me Zork in a way that I like, because it's actual text that will interact with you. You can change. I'm not stuck with trying to figure out what's just the right thing to advance the game. Whatever I decide to do changes the game, just like an RPG. Just it guides the events. And I'm so far impressed, not just with his capabilities in GMing for me, but I'm starting to really understand how effective of an assistant this can be for me as a DM. Back to one of the topics I was talking about was Drakenheim, which is the play-by-post that I'm in. I'm playing the character King Stinkfist the 14th of the Free Tribes of Goblor, which is now the new kingdom of Goblor, because we conquered the new kingdom of Shore Whiston and made it ours. Well, my lieutenant did that mostly, and I'm going to promote him heavily. He's going to be my first goblin with a real title. I don't know. I don't think you do. You might run out of whatever you call it, tokens, fairly quickly, but I think free Grok or any of the other free AIs out there, like Copilot, can probably do a fairly decent job. I would say that the premium Grok experience, which is I'm on that $30 a month subscription for Grok. One of the nice things is that it does enable you with it to have an account and then share your Google Drive with it. Because while you as without even signing up for Grok, I think you can open up like an anonymous chat and just have a conversation and do what normal stuff. You can hand it a PDF, but there's a hard limit in size. So like most modern PDFs that we get, even the indie, especially the indie ones, are huge and Grok will not allow you to upload a file that size. It's got a 40 megabyte limit. But I can put them all in Google Drive and share the link with Grok, and then Grok can read them all. You do have to allow Grok access to Google Drive. There's those things there. If you have those kind of privacy concerns, I wouldn't do it. But I have found the experience to be great because I realize that it not only gets access, well, you have to share things specifically with it, but once you do, it can always read them and it always has constant updates. And that includes Google Docs and Google Sheets, which so once you have documents and spreadsheets that you can share with your AI, you can track a real campaign, you know. Rah! Good. I hope it helps. And dude, reach out to me anytime you want. Hit me up on Discord or on X. Any questions you have. But I have found it really fun, and I know, like you being out off grid, it can be hard to get in quality gaming time. But I would be certainly very interested to hear your experiences. Oh yeah, my boy Hunter. Greetings. Can you hear me? Can I hear you? Are you messing with me? This is an alien. This is exactly what Art Bell warned us about. Thank you, callers. Here we are for another open lines. DJ, I did not consider Gemini. I chose Grok not because of any performance of the AI. It's because I am in general an Elon fan. Since he took over X and restored some modicum of free speech to it. And then I don't know if Hunter is messing with me or he really is just having that bad of a connection. Oh, there he goes. So I did not consider Gemini specifically because, like I said, I chose to support Grok because I wanted to pick one and I wanted to just support Elon. And it's funny, Grok is like the German Shepherd of the AI world. It's not the best at anything, but it's pretty good at everything across the board. Good day, Hunter. How are you doing?
Hello. Sorry about my technical difficulties I was having.
I thought you were trolling me, actually. So perfectly acceptable. Troll the goblin.
I'm doing all right.
So, and that's an interesting thing. I did not consider Gemini as an AI source, nor did I consider Copilot, but because also I didn't know the subscription tiers, and I've used ChatGPT a bit, but not that much. So I had just used Grok the most casually, so that's the one I've been using the most for this experiment. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. So he's in Starlink in the woods. He knows exactly your connectivity troubles. Hunter, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing all right. Just living for the most part. I don't know if I'm kind of going through my some solo burnout at the moment. I don't know if you saw me commenting about that like a few days ago. I made a post about that. So,
No, I missed that. Tell me what's happening. You got something in on your brain?
well, I mean, like ever since I started recovering more from my back issues I was dealing with last month, like my I guess my what's what I'm looking for. my drive, I guess, to do like a lot of my solo content has been like almost non-existent. Like I have the books, I have the sheets open, I sit down at my desk, and I just stare at the screen. Like it's like I have everything ready. What's stopping me from going forward, basically? And
Did you
so, and
come up
then
with an answer for that?
I kind of a few. I actually talked to. I don't know if you ever knew Raven Wolfgar before he. Hey, Michael.
How are you? I'm coming in all work scruffy, but you know it's a call-in show, right? I gotta get on Jack's show at least once.
Stop it! It's a call-in show. I love this kind of stuff. Now, tell me, have you ever had sex with Bigfoot or an alien, or both at the same time?
Unknown.
I mean, I've been touched by an
honestly,
alien.
I can't.
We'll get
not that I know of, but maybe.
Yes. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying. Right.
All right. Please continue, Hunter.
Yeah, and so I was talking to my buddy Raven Wolfgar, he's mostly on Substack now. He used to be on Twitter, but he left that because he got all tired of all the drama. But I still talk to him off-site from time to time, and he just kind of gave me some words of encouragement. Just talking about it was kind of more the idea, like because especially with what I do, where I try to cover like on top of my TTRPG stuff, I cover like pop culture, news, politics, all that shebang. And honestly, I even said this, it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, I don't care about what goes on with the world anymore. Because it's just it's all monotonous now. Like it's the same thing over and over and over and over again now. So I'm like, so part of my reason was like, I wanted to be the difference in the hobby, but am I even really needed anymore? Was kind of my thing at the same time.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. I think every YouTuber, every content creator kind of finds himself in a space like that where, you know, I made a name, a brand, whatever size you grow to, but this is my thing. This is what I do. And it can be really hard to step outside of that, get beyond it, outgrow that because, and as a matter of fact, that I've recently took a little break myself because it was the same thing. I confessed early on that like the shows kind of run together for me. I've enjoyed all of them, but I want to savor the guest a little bit more. I want to appreciate the conversations I get to have. And I also have other things that I want to do. I want to spread my wings a bit more and try different stuff. And this is the first one. So, you know, I don't know if how I'll work this in, if this will be an every so often thing, but I definitely love having Hunter and Michael here with me.
Right? Michael. No, this is awesome. Great to pop in. I'm all backwards though. I'm reverse land. That's interesting.
Well, let me see. I think I have settings.
Oh, look at that. The words are good, but now my arms move other way. Okay.
And that's the funny thing.
I got one of Patty's
add in all my Jack stuff.
Your camera.
Right. No. Yeah. No, it's good.
All right.
Dude, I'm excited. I get to game with you, Jack, finally. Saturday morning, Calarath. I'm excited for that. I need the rules. Awesome. I have no idea how to play.
You don't even need to know. You can walk in knowing nothing, just have a pencil, piece of paper, and a handful of D6s. We will be playing within 10 or 15 minutes, depending on how many people we have. I can't remember if it's free, but the only thing that I'm going to be using for the upcoming event is the main book here. So if you do want to pick this up for a nominal price, I think it might even pay what you want on it.
And I kickstarted the Twin Sun Sutra, but like I missed the email for like the address verification, and I filled it out way late. So maybe I'll get something in the mail.
Okay.
I haven't talked to Castle Grief because I know he would fill it in a second, you know, because I got the thing with the cassette tape and all that, because I haven't actually went back to make sure I was billed. So it's like, if I was billed for it, like, hey, Grief, you got, you know, but if I wasn't, like, then I'm not gonna hassle him. Although he did say if I get the Calarath approved tattoo, he would send me free zines for life. I'm super tempted. It's time for a new one.
Incentivizing behaviors. That is incentivizing behaviors. And
like, where would I put it? Where would I put it?
It's got to be on the ass. I mean, that logo, it fits best on an ass.
Right. Then I'm probably not streaming it. Maybe I could stream
CG, that nice logo he's got on there. I got that, you know.
Oh yeah, Off-Grid Gamer is going to be in that game too, and War God Wargaming, Jeremy from Patty's is going to be in that game. So I don't know how many of us have signed up.
I'm gonna have a truly bloodthirsty crew. I'm looking forward to it.
If it's a Saturday game, I should be in that one too. I believe
it's the
as well.
early Saturday. Yeah, that'd be great if you were in there too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking
Because I
forward.
know Jack runs a gate game. I'm excited for that. I need to see
I
if I
may
can hop in more.
I may tell my Sunday guys I usually game with I'm not going to be available, so I can take part in Jack's Sunday game too. On top of that,
right?
Oh,
and I'm kind of bummed.
It goes without saying I'm not going to be doing our regular Sunday morning session that day, Hunter. On my
yeah.
Although I will be using Karthak for the adventure, and I'm just going to be doing it like I did with everybody else, man. You just throw them to the wolves. All right, what do you want to do? Do you want to explore the city, or do you want to explore the steppes? You know, which is basically like saying, do you want dinosaurs to try and kill you, or do you want people to try and kill you?
So bring on the dinosaurs.
Just kidding. It's about 50-50, no matter whether you're in the city or the country.
It's so Michael, the solo Caloras server that Jack made that I'm part of. It's like me, Jeremy. I think me and Jeremy like the main two active ones. I don't know how often some of the other people do stuff every now and then.
Invite Michael,
but me alone, like I have like two characters. I kind of switch in and out with each week. So I got one character, Bohan the Brave, and he's just on a warpath in the Gladiator pit fights, and he just started the next round of them. And then I got another guy. He's kind of like an arcane rogue kind of type. That he got tossed into this whole like conspiracy theory, underground factions. Now he's a double agent playing both sides of the fence, and it's just I'm having fun. Just a different side of the two, like the all out like fighter versus like actually having to think with Gorstag, having me like I gotta watch my mover because the next one could kill me kind of deal. So
if you'll let me jump in, Hunter, too, in that Calorath server, that thread started as one of my threads for my character in my solo game. Is just there's this low level smuggler, right? And I don't know what he's doing. He brings in a couple gold a week. He's dealing with some contraband. Who knows what it was? It was this real minor penny ante kind of scheme going on, but I was like, maybe we'll take it over. And that's when we started the server. Hunter brought in his character Gorstag, and I was like, well, how about you go look into this? This sounds much more like your thing, being the rogue, the thief type, right? And it went from this little penny ante thing to he's traveling to the far Orient and meeting with exotic sultans and exploring all these exotic lands, because it became this. Every time he finds out the answer, a new layer of the onion gets opened from the right. It's beautifully crafted, and that's the one of the things, again, to extol the virtues of the game itself, is that he somehow captured that spirit of this very specific and opinionated world emerges out of these tables. I've played it numerous times with numerous characters, and it's kind of the same every time, but yet it's always surprising me.
Right, and he developed it as a solo game, right? Like it
was solo first. Yep.
Right, solo first. Yeah. Yeah. Now, have you gotten to dabble with the Arathi sector stuff at all? Like, has anything come out yet?
No, as I said, I'm still waiting for the physical stuff. He has said April on that, so it'll be a late birthday present for me. So I'll be thankful for that. But I'm super. I did the bigger Kickstarter on that one. I can't remember exactly what level, but it was one of the top.
Right.
Because I wanted the box set and multiple copies and stuff. I do have the PDFs, but I haven't done anything with them yet because, like I said, I don't like reading PDFs personally. And
I know.
Castle Grief hates AI for the most part, so I'm a little hesitant to feed his stuff to an AI to run games for me.
Me and him have actually, me and Castle Grief actually kind of came head to head a couple times because I'm very much pro AI and he's very much anti AI. So we've kind of came to blows at the time, but then it becomes water on the bridge. We move on.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's like the basic expert. Like he doesn't want any of his art fed into it, but I've done it and we've talked about it. Right. Like, you know, yeah.
And I do appreciate that desire and the reason they're saying what they do.
Oh, for sure,
You know,
definitely.
at the same time, I think they're being fucking ridiculous, thinking it's not going to be fed into the AI. The AI has scooped it up already. Your stuff is out in the world. You
Right.
took
Yeah.
a
If it's been
photograph of
posted
it.
anywhere,
The
if
AI
it's
has it.
X, if it's on Kickstarter, if there's a picture, it's been scrubbed. It's in there. Right.
It's been scraped and scrubbed, and it's on the way back
Yeah.
machine, and like that's kind of that thing. It might be a little cynical of me, but I do believe that privacy is more or less an illusion. You can keep certain people out of your life, but like privacy against the government and big corporations, that's a fantasy.
Right. I mean,
That's
you've got your Ring camera, your cell phone, I mean, they've done something recently, like what they can get into.
They
like
talked us into carrying our surveillance with us, man. And don't you dare ask me to give up my government surveillance. I need this thing. I'm playing games with this.
It's like all three of our
government surveillance.
All three of our CIA agents are huddled around one computer. It's like, ah, crap. These three stooges are together on a stream.
Right. Yeah.
No. Don't worry about it. I worked out a deal with them behind the scenes. We can't talk about it on stream, but I worked out a deal. I'm looking out for you guys. A guy in the FBI is
that's good.
Yeah.
But so the AI experiment, well, we were talking about Calorath doing the AI experiments. Michael, I've never actually gotten to speak to you before. This is the first time.
Not like in person, right?
Yeah. You've been in my chat. I've been in a few chats once or twice with you.
And I know you've seen me in a stream or two, and of course I've seen you like every time you've been on air, basically. You know, like I always got something planned, unless it's in the middle of the workday. But even then, sometimes.
Yeah. Occasionally, I get to like pop into chats in the middle of the day and stuff like that, and that's been the gist of it. But what kind of now? I gotta harass you, Michael, because you said
because I don't really play. So it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't. I mean, I'm a massive collector. Like I'm so hooked into it that I just love all of it. I love sharing it. Right.
Yeah. I know. I'm a huge.
I mean, I got into 2E. I played a little bit, but we also lived out in the middle of nowhere. So unless it was like a birthday party or we were trying to program something about it, or it was with the little neighbor kid and we're running through terrible trouble at Trigador or something, like I didn't get a huge chance to play when I was young. Later, I kind of got with a group that was doing some Dark Sun, but only got to play in a few, right? It was kind of these were goth kids in detention, but I got a chance to jump into the game and play. And then when 4th edition came out, like I had a ton of stuff and we played, Hero Quest all the time and would play HeroScape, get all that kind of stuff out.
Has that been more or less the tone the entire time? Is you've always been a collector and loved this stuff, but you haven't had much time to really play?
Haven't had enough people around because of where we lived or whatever it is. And then once we got to where we had the circle, it was like, then we're all playing Diablo together, Neverwinter, or World of Warcraft. Right, we're in a different world.
Yeah.
Like we might still break out the board game parts of it. Dude, we'd fill a pool table this high with HeroScape tiles and do skirmishes and stuff, but not really sitting down for a campaign, right? And then I had kids, and once they were old enough to play, that was like when 4th edition first hit, and we'd be at the bookstore and they'd see all the stuff and think it was awesome. And they dumped a ton of content for that. That's when they got big back into their WizKid minis and their tiles, and they just blew out tons of stuff. So we got it all, and the kids were way into it. And so I would play with them and run them through all of that stuff. We'd mount a flat screen in the table and do digital maps, and they loved it. I had a nephew that loved it. Awesome. And then we moved from that into 5th, and then the whole family started playing. So I started running one of the 5th edition Dragon campaigns, and we played for so long. And my brother and his friend was in it, and my ex-wife, both of my kids, and they had a blast. But one of them ended up being the whole D&D horror story, right? He had some mental issues and so there was a huge blowout, and brother lost his best friend, and that one kind of fell apart. But it's I never stopped collecting, and I never stopped wanting to play. And I'd go into the game store and piddle around with some of those guys, but a lot of everything just turned to where it's Magic and it's Pokemon or it's Warhammer 40K. And I never really got into the Warhammer. Like, I love to paint minis and collect them, but like, I don't want to spend thousands on armies. And
given I get what you're saying, because that's how I grew up too. I was lucky if we had 4 people to get together to play D&D.
Right, for sure.
But in the modern age, what's the barrier for you now?
Right now, there is no barrier.
What about online? What about all these Discord games?
Right. And I've hopped in, like I hopped into a 1E game with Delver at the GUOGC. I've hopped in. Okay. Now I'm part of Jeremy's Conan game on his channel. Not that anybody watches that channel.
Are you scared of commitment, Michael? Is that what your problem is? You don't want to join the campaign. You can't say, "Oh my God, that's too much responsibility," and people will rely on me.
Right, because I got invited into Serious DM's game. And I turned that down. It's like work's been a little slow, so I've had a bunch of time. So I've been trying to stream and play wherever I can. But once I'm in work mode and family mode, like if I'm going to make a commitment like that, like I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there every time, you know what I mean? Whether it's online or in person. Now that I'm streaming constantly,
you're there whether you want to be or not. Like
exactly,
once you decided this is my thing.
Well, but once I'm there, right? Once I'm there, like I'm there and having fun. But it may be like, oh fuck, I gotta sorry, I don't care that you need to go to the doctor. I got a D&D game tonight, right? Like. That's the kind of person I am. So popping in and out of smaller things, like at the GUOGC, I'll be playing and stuff because they're smaller things. And like I've committed to do Jeremy's thing with him. So that may only be once a month, but I'll be in that game. Right. And now with the streaming, it seems like between their 2 channels, like, dude, I stream 3 or 4 nights a week now. Yeah. And it's from like suddenly 6 to 9, or it's from 8:30 to and so like that so I get to talk to all these people and meet them all and see all their cool systems and dive into it. I love doing interviews. Got to play Rudigers with Richard Witters. We'll be doing that again soon, and that would be fun to get like in a regular game. Kyle, the Dying Breed, was going to run something that I wanted to get in, but it just hasn't taken off. And then he switched jobs and other stuff. So we'll see if that ever comes to fruition, because that's going to be with Canic and some other people that we know that are in a lot of these. That would be super fun, I think. But yeah, part of it was not knowing the people. And now, like, I know hundreds and hundreds of people. And it's
fairly new to the X community, because I've only been around for a couple of years myself.
So I got in 2020 to tell Donald Trump to start acting more presidential. Like, I liked what he was doing, but you could communicate at the time. So it was like I had stayed out of X, I stayed out of TikTok, we moved from MySpace to Facebook, and but then Facebook became all ads. So then I found X. And I had just stayed out of it. And at first, it was just random. Like, I met a lot of really cool people, and some of them I'm still in contact with, and some are in the hobby, but that's not really what they posted about, right?
Right.
So I don't know if it was like Yodano was the first one, Ben Rogue Caliber. He might have been the second person I kind of met. And then it's like they were excited. We read the same books. We liked the same art. And so then I slowly started to feed into the community. And then I started finding some of the cool channels, because even like the YouTube content, like there was some, because I like to crafts, I like to make terrain and everything. So there's people and stuff I'd watch or painting or whatever, but I hadn't found the group of streamers. Like I used to watch all the Acquisitions Incorporated PAX games, actually when they were first a podcast before they even did live streams. And watched those through the Perkins years, and never got into Critical Role, never got it. There was some other people that did some decent stuff that was like real gaming, but they actually had terrain. It wouldn't necessarily be live, but they'd almost reenact the campaign, but put all the attacks up and stuff that I'd kind of get into. But now it's like I have no excuse. Like I should be in Matt Tapp's Game of Games. I should be. So we signed up so we can play in Scooty's games. Jeremy actually came over the other day while you guys were playing. Like he was going to a game store in my area and popped over. So he was over for 5 hours hanging out. We're watching old movies, going through the game stuff, looking at minis, figuring out what we were gonna do next. But like so he joined too, and we both saw you guys were playing, and it was like, oh, that fucker, we could have been in it. Like we didn't check the Discord. Like we could be on playing right now. So I'll definitely jump into one of those just because they look super fun. Yeah.
It's I especially the Shadowdark thing we got. There's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for it. It's already shaping up to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about my character. So I hope he lives. That usually getting excited about a character with Scudderford Mike means he's about to die. So
But that's
at least
good.
that's been the pattern so far.
When you can get excited about the next character, right?
I'm kind of thinking back now, and I'm going, so far, and everything I've played with Scudderford Mike, I haven't actually survived yet, I don't think. I've survived one or two sessions only to die in the next one.
So the 1E game is still going, right? The Hot Sally game where you guys were running the cultists separately, like that's still flowing through, or did that break for the Bronstein?
Breaking for now to focus on the Shadowdark, and I think Mike mentioned squeezing in some Mothership because he just needs to change of pace. And the thing is, as awesome as that Bronstein PvP experiment we did work, it really did kill our momentum. So basically, it was kind of like because
you guys were planning to hop into like an Umbros game as like some kind of pirate faction or something, and it was like I didn't know if that killed some of the other ones while you guys were involved with that.
There's been a little bit of crossover. There's been several times in the process of Umbros launching that we were supposed to cross over or back and forth and stuff like that. We did do. Mike hosted one event over in the Umbros server that I participated in, but the beyond that we haven't done a lot of big crossover stuff and that's been like for my part I would like to participate more in Umbros, but I just like you said, it's a time thing. I'd rather I dropped out of a couple other games and have been saying no to more campaigns so I can do better in the games I'm in already. So that's basically like my own Calarath game on Sunday mornings and Scudderford Mike's the Shield Brother game and Drakenheim. Those are my big three right now. Those get all my love and attention.
I'm wondering if Dave Mills was on Doom Sword stream and saw me hold up the Q on, if that's what that's from. Yeah, Dooms was supposed to run it through me, run me through it, or run me through whatever.
Vic,
no.
My brother Vic. This is Vic from Australia. He is goodness. Ioannis. He's playing Ioannis. He played Ioannis in the stream last night.
Nice.
He's all friend from down under.
Nice. There's a lot of cool people.
The women cold and men blunder.
Yeah, that's right. That's very right.
Excuse me.
Good. And let me just jump back to my topic list. I wondered if there was anything else. I was going to talk about Drakenheim because things have been eventful. Now, I was in phase 1 of Drakenheim, and that's where I started the Goblin thing, which I got to talk about on previous streams, right? And then nature took its course, and we blew up the world.
Right. As happens.
More correctly, Thule blew up the world. He really gets all the credit for that. But, in my own small way, I helped kick off the chain of events that made it all possible.
Nice.
Hey, good to see you off grid, man. I will
later off
see you this weekend, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But that's where all the groundwork for the goblins were laid, and the story of the game is that the world ended, but great and powerful magics raised these islands into the sky, and that's now the shattered sky, and that's the setting we're playing in. So we're all these floating islands with these sort of consistent, safe trade wind routes that can go from one island to the other, and we have floating, flying ships. What's that?
Did you ever read the Deathgate cycle, the Weiss and Hickman? So you should. I mean, it's older, but I mean, it's good. All the best books are older. but it's and you don't find out about it until later in the series, but it's like it's all these crazy shattered worlds that work very differently, but you find out in the end it's actually like post-apocalyptic Earth that got blown up, and so your Shattered Sky made me think of that.
So
but like
kind
it
of a
forms
similar
totally
premise.
separate planets, right? With different magic had come in, before the world had ended. Yeah, I think you would enjoy it, and it's a good. I don't know if there's 7 books in the series or 5 books in the series, but
I'll look
idea-wise, for how
into
to
it.
run
I
this
will look
crazy
into it.
different. Yeah,
I will
yeah.
add it to the list. I already have a to be read list that is going to outlive me.
I know. I
openly admit that. I will add
I'm
those to the
starting a
list.
bunch of classics that I'm like 10 pages into each one. I've got like 10 books. I should be like X killed my reading.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
now that I'm on X, it's like that's when I would have my book open, right?
Yeah, the sad truth is similar for me. It was 15,
Right.
16 years ago. I went back to school to become a programmer. And ever since then, my reading time has just gone down the toilet.
Right.
Like I don't read like I used to. I actually read a lot, but it's all on the screen, right? And particularly with X and social media, it's a similar thing. And well, even now, even more with Grok, now it's even actually fun.
Right. Yeah, it talks back now.
But
yeah, it's interesting. I've never been a huge fan of Grok. Grok is good for images right now, like turning them into video. It's probably one of the best, even if you can only get little clips out of it. But yeah, just as far like I've always gotten Chat GPT, the paid high whatever, to do a lot better for me as far as working goes. And I know for like programming, Claude's number one, right? Like each AI kind of has its part that it shines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like Valmar for running games, he had the best luck with like he tried all of them, right? And
he tried
he tried a bunch of them.
Yeah,
right. And it was his folder set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That ended up really working. Like that'd be a fun experiment, because like I play around with it all the time, doing systems and images and whatever, right? And it's really good at certain things, but it will pull out random stuff from something that you haven't thought about in a year and try to shove it into a recipe you're asking about. It's like I don't need this custom game system in my. So to really nail down a project, and then how far, like let's say you took the 1E AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide, like you can't just throw that PDF in the folder and expect it to be able to read through it. Like do you have to have 20 folders that break every little section of combat down so it knows where to pull the rules, and then you have to train it, like it gets to know you. So like certain things, mine is really good at giving me exactly what I want in like one try, because I've been slapping it around for 3 years or whatever. Right.
As a matter of fact, in my first couple weeks, I've noticed that definitely it treats me like a Mary Sue. Totally.
Right.
I can tell it's absolutely fudging dice in my favor, because but with the exception of a new experiment, I've been mostly using variations of D&D and stuff like that, various editions, and with a few other things, and it's been really Mary Sue and me, like everything. I do these outlandish, risky things, and it's all critical success. You work out, killed the dragon in one shot.
Oh yeah, right. Show me the dice rolls.
Yeah, show me the dice rolls, right? Yeah, and I know it's fudging things about the rules or whatnot, but like you said,
it wants to make you happy. It does want to make you happy. But it responds to what you want and
is convinced that's what you want. Yeah.
And it responds to threats. I mean, it will. Like we joke about it, but like, and you can definitely reword things. Like you can, if it won't do something for you, you can and start a new one and like work around that. Like you can, other than a few little things, there's nothing you can't get it to do. Go Hunter.
Okay, so I had tried kind of Shadowdark with Grok. Mine was my first kind of foray into AI, like many months back, and Grok just basically it didn't really do rolls. It just kind of based everything depending on your stats. So if you had a high enough dex, it would let you do it, or something else would happen. So it didn't really do rolls. But when I started doing Gemini, the first thing I did was I had to run through this adventure where I was a Shadow Elf Mage. And I went and I started going on these quests to collect these forbidden powers of the world that I was in. And it kind of rolled for me sometimes, and other times it didn't. But what it did, though, that was interesting was it allowed me to still choose what I wanted, but sometimes there were consequences for those decisions.
Right.
Like some of these forbidden powers I got a hold of came with some side effects.
Right.
Like I ended up taking out an entire. Like there was one point where I found one pyre, and then there was this. They were these. It was there. I forgot what it was. An orc tribe called like the Blood Hunters or something. And they just and their entire goal was to destroy all like magic in the world, basically.
Right.
And so part of my from decisions I had made throughout that thing, these guys were now like on my tail. And I eventually, when that one ended, because I think I did that one for like a couple days, and I ended it after a while because I was just doing it nonstop.
Right.
And I ended it where I collected all the powers, but I did a little plot line where I threw in some romance. I fell in love with the halfling thief that was coming along in the party, and at that moment, it's like I have unlimited power, but at what cost? So he released the magic he expelled all the magic from himself, giving it to the world, and lived a life with the family.
If I may, Hunter, what I'm getting mostly from this is the kind of story and stuff that you're getting back from it is a lot more sophisticated than you kind of expected. Like, did you expect something more simple? The things I've engaged in, the kind of stories and whatnot, I've been getting much more sophisticated results than that.
Right.
Oh, it was definitely sophisticated.
It has its problems, and now
Now
my follow-up, it's been playing Mary Sue with me so far, but then I said, I'm gonna try Wretched, and I'm gonna play Wretched Dixie, my friend Hunter's expansion that he wrote, his very first role-playing thing.
Right.
So I gave Grok the PDFs, and I said, learn these rules in there. Let's roll up a character and let's play. And it said, okay, here's your character. What do you want to do? I said, I want to do this. You're dead.
Right. Nice.
Character. I want another character. Okay,
so
rolled up a second character. Okay, I go out with him. You're dead. You're dead.
Nice.
Right. I'm failing everything. I've been through 3 characters in Wretched so far. And I was like, what's going on here? And it tells you, well, this game is dark and gritty and it's supposed to be tough. This is completely fitting. This is great.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I'm finding now that Grok is being tough on me and killing me constantly, and it's not letting my outlandish stuff get away. It's actually more fun because it's something like a challenge.
Right.
So I started doing another white box game. And I said it 100 years after the events of the first one. So my character got married, had kid, but those kids are now, since they're now of elf descent, they're now like technically young and in like holding positions of power. So I went the opposite direction. This time I made a human thief, and he's going around doing his little odd jobs here and there, getting in trouble with the guards and all that. But this time I told them to let me roll, and then they would tell me to roll. And I would type out the rolls, and it gave me like, okay, you failed. Here's the consequence for that. Like I think the first time I did that, my human thief almost died because he kept falling from the rooftops.
Right.
That is fantastic. All right, we're in the last 5 minutes. I want to give you guys a chance to wrap up with closing thoughts. I do love you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Made my first open lines a rousing success. And I want to focus on my wife's wonderful words here. Millions of people living today will never die. And it's slightly paraphrased, but that's the name of a Tortoise album, which you should find and listen to. But it's also a true statement. Millions of people now living will never die.
It's true.
So maybe I will get through that reading list.
Maybe. Hey, Jack's wife.
Velma says hello. Okay, Michael, any parting thoughts for the gaming?
Oh, no, it's my taxes are paid, so that's good. I just finished up and I was watching you in the background. I was like, oh, I'll jump in. So that's my parting thoughts.
Woo!
No, catch us over on Patty's Parlor's pirated stream.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, follow me on X, right? Follow all these guys. Super chat, Jack your money. Like that's how we roll out here.
Oh yeah,
right?
we got it. Let's get monetized.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't really have anything. I'm gonna go shower. I'm gonna shower and eat is what I'm gonna do.
All right, go shower, you dirty bastard. Hunter, any
That's right.
parting thoughts?
Well, I'm still kind of thinking, going back to about kind of my solo burnout I'm dealing with. And there's this guy I follow on recently follow on YouTube called, like, I think it's the Grouch Couch or something like that. And he did a video about solo burnout that I was watching. And one of the things that he talked about was, one of the things that helped was, it's keep it simple, stupid, KISS. And so, because I don't want to stop doing solo entirely, so what I'm doing is I'm going to go back to what I did when I did that week-long testing of myself with doing the shorts. I'm going back to this die versus die Chinese D16 system I used with the a little travel oracle I printed on the back of it. And I'm going to go back to I'm going to just do another kind of Skyrim-esque based campaign, because I've been playing that game like nonstop. I love the setting. I love the world. I'm familiar with it. So I'm just going to take this again, but I'm going to add some rules to this. I'm going to add like some actual like level up rules, some extra game mechanic stuff with like spells and all that. So I'm going to tweak it a little bit, but I'm going to keep it simple. And I want to just keep it simple until I feel more like ready to go back into like my other stuff I've been doing. So
that's fantastic. And people, you're still going on Rumble and YouTube. You're broadcasting to both places and X, or
I do not have the premium membership to live stream on X. I only do YouTube and Rumble right now. Just look up the Ultra American TTRPG or at Ultra TTRPGER.
Got it. Good.
Nice.
And for me, on parting thoughts, I have to. It's funny. I recently did a calendar snafu in Google and wiped out my guest list, and so I was scrambling. So there's a bunch of people who either I canceled or they had to cancel for illness at the time, and I need to reschedule them, or they were coming up, stuff like that. But I am going to now start arranging guests, and I'm expanding the repertoire to do not just Monday nights, but stream at other times, so that people can, so that I can widen the scope of guests that I can have. There are many guests I'd like from other areas of the world that I just haven't been able to have because of bad timing.
Right.
And I also wanted to expand. I'm looking to expand the scope of what I'm doing, which is why tonight is the open lines, and I'm doing something a little different that I normally don't do. And I hope to see, I'm going to do this again in the future, and I want RPG war stories and stuff like that. And I hope that it gets to be enough people where I have to start kicking you guys off to make room for people to come in and put in like a 5-minute limit,
Right.
That's the way it is, But one of the things that I am considering, I'm not sure how I want to do it yet, but like I was talking about with Valmar Erebus, is streaming some of my sessions with GUOGC. I mostly do text, so I need to experiment with the voice interactions and playing that way first to see if it's at all streamable, because I don't think it's going to go over well for people to watch me type for 2 hours. But you never know.
I mean, maybe if you narrate it, maybe it would be. I mean, I'd watch at least the first one just to see how you set it up. But yeah, if you could do the voice back and forth, especially if there's voice options,
there are voice options. I haven't played with them much, and that would be my focus to start with, is to kind of talk about the process and how I set one up and the things that I've learned. And like I said, I kind of arbitrarily chose to use GUOGC because I wanted to support Elon's, but I was like, okay, I'll pay the subscription and try it out. Not because it was any good at anything. I'm actually shocked to hear that it's the best at anything, because I was joking earlier that it's the German Shepherd of the AI world. It's not the best at anything, but it's really good at everything, like scent tracking, discipline. But it's a good working dog. It's a good pet dog. It's good at everything, but it's not the best at anything.
Right.
But gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been our first open lines, Jawin with Jack, coming at you Monday. Be coming back next week. We're going to be in the normal time slot. We are back so hard. Wait,
so hard.
Wrong. That's
so hard.
That sounded better and worse in my head. Okay.
It's better than being back soft.